Hi, it's me, Alna, from twinsmommy.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pin graphic using canva.com. Canva is a free image tool for your images. Alright, so let's look at it. Once you sign in, you can click on More here to see all the templates for you. Now with Canva, you can use lots of templates for social media posts, popular design types. So if you want to do infographics, a presentation, a lead magnet, a PDF, ebook, lots of different choices and lots of different templates that you can use. But for this demonstration, we are going to focus on the Pinterest graphic, which they have a handy little template for you to use. So click on that. And here is when you can start playing around. Now Canva makes it easy to have their own layouts and their own graphics for you to use. Some are free, some are not. So for example, this one is free to use, these ones are free, but we want a nice, pretty image for our blog post. And if you got last day's email, then you have a nice little handy checklist of all the places that you can get free stock images for your blog. So what you can do is once you get those photos on your computer, then you can upload them to Canva here. So you click on upload and you just sort of drag them there. And then you have your handy little place for all your amazing uploads. So I'm gonna show you this image and we're gonna work with this. So you can play around with Canva by the image here. It makes it real easy. You can just sort of drag it, make it smaller, bigger. You can crop. You can add filters if you wanted to make it kind of snazzy, change colors and stuff. There's a lot of customizing here that you can do. I'm going to flip it like that. And you can move it and you can only show some parts, so you can really have some fun doing this. I'm going to just have it like right there. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to create my headline at the bottom here. Now with pin graphics, some little tips that you want to use when you start doing your own pin graphics are make sure that you have some white space for your title of your blog post. You can use a sort of like a text box, like a white box over your image. So if you have a busy image, so for example, if I'm using like this one right here, this is a busy image, I would probably put a text box over all that and play around with it. So let me just show you. If I had used this image instead, and I'll remove that one. So you can see, I would have to use a text box. So with a text box, it is under elements and under shapes. So you can use a rounded one, a square one, or you can just do a circle. I'll focus on that one. Here you can change the size of it and sort of decide how much you want, how little you want. And you can also change the transparency up here. So again, depending on your liking. Since it is a very busy and dark background, I would have to really go even something like a 97 or 98. I would be comfortable with that and do that. But I'm not doing that. But if you decide to do a text box, this is how you would do it, and then you would add your headline just on top of that. So I'm going to go back to my original one here. So let's okay. There we go. So yeah, you can spend hours having fun with images and resizing them and getting them perfect. And the same goes with your fonts too. So be careful not to spend too much time. All right, so I did show you a little bit of elements here where you can find shapes. You can incorporate lines in your graphic. So if you want to do that, you can. and you'll notice that there's a lot of free ones. Here's some nice arrows. If you're pointing to something like a freebie on your blog post, you can use a nice little arrow here. And a lot of nice design elements to make it more of your own brand for your blog. But since we're doing something pretty simple, I'm just going to do my headline at the bottom here. So that's under text. Again, you can have some fun. You can use these already templates for your headline. But I'm just keeping it simple for the demonstration, and since something I like sort of a simple design. All right, so with this, you can play around with the font. Now, my suggestion with using fonts is use one main font and one script font, and only script font 1 or 2 words in your headline, just so that it makes it easy for everyone to read. Now, if your whole headline is a script, and what I mean by script is something like a fancy font. So something like this one is fancy. Brusher, that's a very fancy font, so you don't want to use too much of that, or it's going to be really hard to read if someone is scrolling, especially on their phone. So you want to have a basic main font. I like to use Lato. I also like to use all caps, but it's up to you how you want to do yours. So we'll do a how-to. Size is important, so you don't want to go too big, but you do want it to be noticeable. So that looks good. And you can play around and move your font wherever you want. And you can see that Canva helps you with these little median lines here. So in the middle is right there, and the middle on that side is right there. All right, I'm going to add this heading at the bottom here. So I'm going to add to this. So how to make your mornings. And we're going to go again with, well, you know what? Actually, there's a different one here. Okay, I'm just playing around. Again, this is where Canva gets really addicting because it gets super fun. Just seeing, this is where you have to visualize sort of the sizing to make it, I think that looks good. Here you can play around with the spacing of your words. So you can stretch it out if you want, scrunch it in. And then your line height, I guess, is if you have a box that, if you have 2 lines on when you're doing your headline. But I like to make each row its own little headline, so I can play around with it on this one thing. So that's what I like to do. So how to make your mornings, and then I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to make this one a scripted font. Now with scripted fonts, I like to just go like, not all caps, just regular, I guess, and just use a nice, let's use brusher, I guess. And I like to make that big. Let's see. But you know what, that doesn't really look good in brusher. And this is where you can play around and have fun. A good one, let's see. There's so many to choose from, and if you do upgrade to the Canva where you pay, you can download your own fonts that you can get with Google Fonts or with other places like Creative Market, for example. Pacifico. No, that's not too bad. All right. So again, just play around with this. I'm going to sort of play around. Now to me, that's a little bit hard to read still. So anyways, I can take all day doing this, so I'm not going to take your time while you're looking at this video, looking at me trying to find something nice, right? Ha ha ha. Okay. All right, let's just do something like that. Now you can play around with the color. So with this, I can make it my own theme. So if I have my own brand color, you can just note it here, what that brand color is. But I don't know it off the top of my head right now, so I'm just going to play around with colors. Since this is sort of a purplish, I'm going to play around here with like a pinky purple. That's looking good. Okay. There. So you can do something like that for your graphic. Again, you can add other things if you wanted to. And that's where Canva gets fun. You can add a nice frame if you wanted to, but you would do that in the beginning. So make it real funky if you wanted to, or some lines. So there you go. Once you have your pin graphic all nice and pretty, this is where you download it. With images, download in JPEG. If you're doing a like an infographic where it's all just sort of icons and things like that and illustrations, then you use PNG. Okay, so download it as a JPEG for your pin graphic, and then you have it on your desktop. There you go. And from there you can upload it to your WordPress blog, and voila, you have a beautiful pin graphic. Now make sure to read the email of some great tips to help you make your pin graphic really pop and stand out. All right, have fun.